Stick around for an all-new episode of Be Less Stupid. My name is John Hotchkiss. I'm here in Beverly Hills, California at the Donald Trump rally.
I'm just curious, what are the things you're hoping for if the president gets reelected?
Oh, I'm hoping that we rebuild our cities, rebuild our economy, bring jobs back, make America greater again. That's what I'm hoping for.
Welcome to Be Less Stupid. I'm your host, John Hotchkiss. Let's get right to it. 538's new tracking poll has Biden leading Trump by an average of 9 points across the nation. And by the way, that is a fantastic sign. However, as a Democrat who remembers 2016, the polls are a lot like Roger Stone's testimony, totally unreliable and not to be believed. And that is where the problem that Democrats are now facing starts. Look, I get it. Joe Biden is not dynamic. If you see him in person, he doesn't give you that injection of adrenaline straight to your heart. He's not dynamic. However, since I last checked, ability to make you shout is not a precursor to becoming the president. You see, there's no liberal equivalent to lock her up and build the wall, right? The closest that Democrats come to having a slogan is, "We demand justice and equality for all Americans, regardless of race, creed, color, sexual identity, or national origin." And good luck putting that slogan on a hat. However, what we liberals have going for us, despite not having a charismatic serial sexual harasser as the head of our party, is better ideas, fairer proposals, and more optimistic goals, and less racism, less sexism, less anti-immigrantism, less anti-Muslimism. And yet, it's Trump voters that I see galvanizing around their candidate and taking to the streets in massive numbers to show their support. I've seen this guy 15 times.
Yeah, because
right?
because I love America.
It's okay. I know. I've seen you.
Yeah, I've seen you too.
Come on.
I've seen you too.
And no place is that more evident than in Beverly Hills, California. Beverly Hills, by the way, is also the name of another porn star that Trump paid to keep quiet right before the 2016 election. For the last several weeks, and for the next 8 weeks, several hundred Trump voters are gathering at this park in Beverly Hills to show their support for the president. Many even wore masks, or as they refer to them, hoods. Now look, a gathering of Trump voters in and of itself is not especially noteworthy. However, these gatherings are different. In 2016, Hillary Clinton won Los Angeles County with 71% of the vote. 4 years earlier, Barack won the county with nearly the same vote percentage. The point is that demonstrating for Trump in Los Angeles is pointless. It's as pointless as the spell checker function on a Trump voter's computer. It's a fool's errand, a total waste of time, money, and energy. Here in Los Angeles, it is more likely that Harvey Weinstein will get to produce another movie than Los Angeles will flip to red. And yet, here they are. Not a few dozen, rather a few hundred of Trump's hardcore base.
And also the Democrats are trying to make it where pedophilia is just a sexual orientation. This is disgusting.
Black Lives Matter is getting the airtime, the honest airtime that they deserve when it comes to the riots and the looting, because everyone had this concept that Black Lives Matter was this great benevolent organization, but now we get to see it for what it really is. It's a farce. It's a Marxist organization that's against the United States of America.
This affection for the president, despite all the ugly revelations, from calling dead American soldiers suckers and losers to lying to the American people about the pandemic and the government response, proves one of my long-held observations, that no matter how terrible Trump is, there are still women who will put on a skimpy bikini and support him. Trump voters do not care about the allegations of sexual harassment and rape. They don't care about 200,000 dead Americans. They don't care that former members of the president's cabinet have called him stupid, a moron, and an idiot. They don't care about Russian collusion or Ukrainian election tampering. Those are not the metrics that they use to determine Trump's fitness for office.
You're being duped. 4 more years is coming.
That's because all they care about is putting conservative justices onto U.S. federal courts, lowering the taxes for rich people, taking health care away from poor people, making abortion illegal, keeping guns legal, and owning the libs. Those are their metrics.
idiots. They're such idiots. That's it. Come on, we all know they're a bunch of idiots. Let's go. Come on, guys. Let's go.
Yes, the national polls suggest that Biden has a significant lead, but polls cannot be trusted. However, one thing can be trusted, and that's your own eyes.
Stand up. Let's go. Come on, guys. Let's go.
Remember, California is bluer than the balls of a dude whose hooker went home before the pie finished baking. Los Angeles is never going to vote red, and yet, here they are. Hundreds and hundreds of them, and similar gatherings are taking place all across the country. And as we get closer to the election, Trump's popularity will undoubtedly rise even higher. So look, I am sending up a flare. I am blowing the warning horn. We are at DEFCON 1. 1 is the worst. The DEFCON scale starts at 5. That's the least bad. DEFCON 1 is the worst. So look, this is the warning. Trump's base wants to see him reelected. Trump's base is hitting the streets and making their voices heard. And so, I humbly say to you, Democrats, where are you?